we can actually look at data sets and see if, in fact, we have an inverse variation or a direct variation. Let's take a look at some examples and see if we can classify what we would say the data is conforming to. So here I see x's, and here I see y's, corresponding y's. I'm going to be completely just upfront with you. Here's how I look at this. I look at this, I see the x's are getting bigger. Do you see that? 1, 5, 7, they're increasing. And I see that the y's are increasing as well. That means that this is going to be some kind of variation, as we've been discussing. It's got to be a direct variation. Because remember, an inverse variation is one where as x gets bigger, y's get smaller. And that's not what's happening here. So therefore, I'm going to check the thing we talked about before, which is to see if I have a constant quotient. Because remember, if I have direct variation, that means direct variation means y equals kx, which means if I divide both sides by x, y over x is a constant. So let's see if y over x is always a constant. 4 over 1 is 4. 20 over 5 is 4. 28 over 7 is 4. So in fact, what I see here is that, in fact, these quotients are always constant. I'm thinking direct variation. In fact, not only direct variation, but I'm predicting that the k is going to be 4. Let's try another example. Here, I look at the data, and what I notice is that the x's are still increasing. That's awesome. But notice what's happening to the y's. The y's now are dropping in value. So I'm seeing x going up, and I see the y's dropping. So that tells me that if it's going to be anything, it's going to be an inverse variation. Now remember, with inverse variation, we have y equals a constant divided by x, which means that if we take a cross product, x times y is always a constant. So if I want to test for inverse variation, let's take the product of x and y and see if that remains constant as we go through our data set. 2 times 3. Well, 2 times 30 is 60. Okay? 5 times 12, 60. 15 times 4, 60. Yes, I'm seeing constant products. That means inverse variation. In fact, I'm going to predict the k is going to be 60.